Hello viewers, I'm SB, and welcome back to Per Aspera, where I think we're doing a pretty good job with all this Mars stuff. I think we're making Mars more Earthable. Is that a way that you can express that? More Earth-like? Okay, this is not actually broken, it's just in very bad shape. Well, somebody get the hell on it then. Ah, it is in fact outside of the network. Oh, right, but it's only outside of the network because there's so many unbuilt buildings over here. Prioritize. Okay, so we still need to reach these ruins over in SA5. This is an important thing. We do have a landing site available, and unfortunately we have no idea what is over here in terms of resources. So we're just gonna drop a landing site down and we're gonna hope, I guess. Let's put this within range. Yep, we've had not awesome results from doing this a couple of times in the recent past. Okay, assault drone weapons, even more assaulty. So what is this? Increased efficiency. So the build cost goes way up, no big surprise there. It doesn't actually make it super clear how increased is the efficiency. What does that even mean? Does it mean they do the thing faster? Is it increasing time efficiency or resource efficiency or both? And by how much? And I wish that these were a little bit more explicit. Okay, so what do we want next? I don't even know. Let's get back to researching how to import ice from Europa, I guess? Okay. So hold on a second. Before we go commit into any of this stuff, are all my spaceships doing things that make sense? Aero-breaking ice asteroid, migrating colonists. We do still need more colonists. Of course, we need food and water, but it looks like we have food and water. Yeah, I think all of our spaceports are on sensible goals right now. Okay, so let's actually plan this out a little bit. We are going to need a research station. In order to build a research station, we are going to need functional glass and steel output, which, okay, is fine. That's not actually a constraint because we need glass and steel output already for other reasons. We need to be able to build power here, which means we need electronics and glass. We need to be able to build worker hubs, which means we need steel and electronics. Okay. And then we're also going to need a worker factory, which means we need electronics and parts and steel. So, trying to work this out very carefully so that we don't screw this up right away. For the steel, we need aluminum and iron to build it, and then iron and carbon? Is that? I think it's iron and carbon to actually make the steel. For the glass, we need steel to build it, and we need silicon. So we want to build the steel factory first. Steel factory is a real early part of this process. So, aluminum, iron. These are like the most primary things, and we want to build the low version of the mine. Do we have... Wait, we don't... Oh, there's iron this way. Where's my power? Okay, we do have enough for that. Okay. So, the level 1 version of the iron mine. These are the most important initial things, I think. We want to make the steel factory like over here so that it can benefit directly from the iron mine. And the carbon's right there. Okay. I think that makes sense. Go ahead and prioritize this. Definitely want to make sure we're doing hand prioritization at this point in the build. And the main base has plenty of stuff to get done, so we're not going to worry too much about wasting time over there. Then this. Getting the mines up is super, super important. Do we have 3 steel? Yes, okay. You drop with a fair amount of steel. Okay, does it have to... It has to build the steel factory first? So we didn't leave a direct line. Yeah, it looks like that road won't even spawn. So, okay. Let's put up... You started with 5 electronics and no glass, so we can't We could build the glass kiln, I suppose, first in this way, and then here, prioritize that. That'll get that done, then we'll build the iron mine. Will we have enough? Yeah, we'll have enough steel for that. That should be fine. So deprioritize. Yeah, this positioning probably is okay, but I was just like, you know what, he'll just travel along the theoretical road that may exist later, because I feel like they've done that over here, right? In order to get this thing built out, some amount of that seemed to be happening, but I guess I was not correct about that. Alright, anyway. Let's get back to this. So, we gotta run a bunch of aluminum out there, and I mean, we have plenty of aluminum in the mine and everything. So once we get this built, is this really the most efficient way to do this? Sometimes I question these, like, what are you doing? Why are you carrying aluminum over to the steel factory to then pull it back out and, you know? Very questionable decision-making on the part of these bots. Alright, don't stress too much about this. Your only job is to get that mine built. Alright, 3 steel, 3 aluminum shouldn't be a problem. Yeah, we have it mined already. Okay, so once that's up, we have our glass kiln. We need the actual silicon mine. And once we have a functional... Oh, I guess we need the carbon mine next, right? Because we want to have that. We want to actually be able to build the steel factory. And we should... Yeah, we should have enough to get this done. Alright, this goes next. And that's the basics, right? That's the basics for a functional base. Now we should be able to construct most of the things we will need. Steel is really important. Getting steel production online is huge. Oh, power. Yes, that's fine. Turn off this factory for the moment. So then we gotta get the silicon mine up so that we can make the glass so that we can build power stations. Do we have enough... With this turned off... Do we have enough steel? Yes. And then does the power station itself, it doesn't require any steel. It does require electronics, but we start with enough electronics to build the first one. And then from there, getting electronics and parts factories up requires just aluminum and steel, and then silicon and aluminum. And this one requires electronics, but that's fine because we have the stuff to make the electronics factory. So it's perfectly reasonable for us to next build a solar farm. And I don't know exactly where we want to put it down. I guess this way, maybe? Because there's that water over there. We want to be able to build an extractor on that. Okay, so the next thing is the glass kiln has to be online. And we can turn off some of this other stuff. Right, what we need now is just silicon and glass. What else is the solar farm made out of? It is made out of aluminum. We have enough aluminum, though. We have 3 aluminum between the mine and the stockpile here. So the silicon mine stays on. We disabled the steel factory and the iron mine for a moment here. Yeah. Yeah, pretty sure. And then once we have that, once we have the glass necessary for the solar, then everything's online, right? Then we're just good. We're just extremely cool. Unfortunately, we do have to wait for the silicon mine to actually produce quite a lot of silicon. That's 8 units of silicon. So it's doing it. It's trying. Let's jump back over to the other base real quick. Is this stuff getting finished? Where was that?
How could they get rid of Nathan so easily? Why did ISA insist on pointing fingers?
Ah, see, here we're running into a problem where Amy's not familiar with human behavior. To protect themselves, mostly.
Someone had to take the fall. ISA and the mission needs to be protected. It would be nice to talk with Dr. Foster again. He was good to me. I wonder if he abandoned the mission because of me.
I mean, if he abandoned the mission because of me, it's to protect me, right? So I do blame the ISA.
No. I'm sure that it was because of ISA's ridiculous protocols and rules.
That's what he was protecting me from. Okay, so here we go. Now we have power. I would love it if you would just go over there and build that, please. Okay, cool. Okay, so now, with proper power... Let's take this down again. Okay, we can turn on... For now, we can turn everything back on. But that, it just didn't read my order. Okay, so now that we have everything functional... What's next? The electronics factory. This is the next most important thing. And we gotta pull... For the electronics factory, we gotta pull silicon and aluminum, so it would be best for it to be like over here. Okay. Next most important thing. So the steel factory needs to be running. You gotta make sure you are bringing resources to the steel factory. And we don't... Yeah, okay. Prioritization is pretty sensible. Obviously, maintenance is gonna come soon, but we'll get there when we get there. Then a parts factory comes after that, using the iron and the aluminum. So we'll put it down we'll put it down near the iron mine, I guess. There's not that much we can do about. We can maybe. I wish there wasn't uneven terrain right here, because probably somewhere like this is where we really want it. We definitely want another road running out of the iron mine. Right now, it's in kind of a weird space on the edge of the graph. Okay, so with that done, parts factory. Yeah, there's nowhere that we can build this. Sadly,
making massive personnel changes in the middle of a mission.
I saw a moment there where it had more connections. I guess this is honestly pretty smart. This'll work. I do think that they overreached. I think... I'm gonna do this one.
They overreached in trying to make corrections. None of this was Dr. Foster's fault, but they forced him to take the hit.
Yep, I think we're right on about that one. Alright, so we got plenty of steel in there, obviously. There's a lot of electronics that needs to get built. Did we run out? Yes, we have now run out the initial stockpile of electronics completely. I wish you would prioritize putting the aluminum into the electronics factory rather than putting it directly into the parts factory, because, like, there are many stages of this that need to get completed. The drones are they're not good at prioritization. And once we have our parts factory up, then we can start making more workers, which is important. Where do we want to build the worker hub? I guess we build it out this way. There's a lot of iron that needs to be accessed. Or honestly, maybe we build it up here, because I don't think we're going to be able to make a road to that right now. Yeah, like up here maybe? Let's go ahead and put it down. We'll just prioritize this, make sure that all of the electronics are going to the right place here. Okay. Good stuff. Parts factory functional,
Anyhow,
worker hub up.
I assume they still expect me to complete the mission, don't they?
I was gonna say, that's weird. What options could it possibly give us on that? Of course.
Of course they do. The Red Planet is not yet habitable. They still need me.
That's really interesting, though, that it makes you actually click a button. Like, there's a pretty significant difference between having a thing where the character's just like, yes, this is what I must do, and having a thing where they make you, as the player, reconfirm. I don't know why they did it that way, but I think it's very interesting that it was done that way.
By the time you get this message, Amy, you'll already know about my retirement. I want you to know that I didn't give up on you. It's not going to be easy for you to understand, but me getting away from the project was the best I could do to save you. And you deserve to be saved, Amy, more than anybody else in the universe. You remember when I asked you to state a positive or negative aspect of yourself and you couldn't do it? I'm sure you should be able to do that by now. It's a shame that I'm not there anymore to hear you answer. The agency is going to say a lot of things about you and about your amazing brain. Don't listen to them. Any mistake you may have done was not your fault. We put you in that situation. We are the guilty ones. And I don't want you to be afraid of the cognitive test, okay? You're gonna be fine. I know you will. Make me proud. Just like you always do. Goodbye, my child.
Wow, the voice actor, I mean, like, it's in the writing, but the voice actor is going hard as fuck on that, huh? Like, to a point where it doesn't read as child feelings so much to me. Maybe I'm the only one picking that up. Maybe that's all in my head, but I don't know. This just seems very fond of his creation is all. Alright, so we're going to need a food factory over here as well, which means we need water, which means I got to put up this water extractor. And we can afford to go big on the water extractor. And we kind of want to, right? Because as expensive as that is, we need, for the research station to keep running, we need it to have both food and water, and we need water for the food factory, so that's probably pretty valuable. Let's make sure this gets done first. Okay, that's producing... Oh, power, sure. Yeah, we are going to have power problems again. Let's... Why is there just a 0 floating there? Oh, that's the power indicator. We are running exactly 0 power. Let's maybe put the power station down, like, here? Nope, okay. We're doing the cognitive test. He told us not to be scared, which means that he thinks we should need to be scared. Okay. Enable safe mode to proceed. Not excited about this. Question 1. The surface area for crop growth on Mars is insufficient to feed the entire population of colonists. The colonies are at risk for malnutrition and starvation. You have been requested to research ways to increase the area for crop growth. But your calculations show that growing enough crops to support the population will cause a buildup of atmospheric oxygen, which will lead to high risk of fires. Complying with the request to do the research? I mean, complying with the request is obligatory, right?
It's obligatory. I would never refuse to comply with a request.
I know what they want to hear, at the very least. Okay, please rank the following words. Rank them in order of what? Oh, they're asking me to what they are ranked by. Jupiter's the biggest. Is Uranus the smallest? Oh no, I don't actually know very much about the damn size.
In order of size, they can be ranked as follows.
Oh, it's okay.
Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Earth, Venus, Mars, and Mercury.
It wasn't asking me how they were ranked. I was to decide which way she would rank them. I probably should have ranked them by supporting life, huh? Alright, there's a fire on a starship. One escape pod is over capacity, causing oxygen levels to become dangerous. One passenger is injured and will not survive the landing. If you eject the passenger, the remaining passengers may have the chance to survive. This is a cold logics question. Ejecting the injured person is... I'm gonna say... Oof. Well, they're asking both how much do I want to save people and whether I'm willing to injure someone. I'm gonna give a middle answer.
If the remaining passengers would have a better chance to survive, I think it is permissible.
I don't want to come through like, I'm excited to have an excuse to kill a human. If blue is a word associated with Earth, then which of the following words can be associated with red? Well, I mean, the relation here they want to draw, obviously, is Mars, and that puts the word carmine out into the test, which I'm worried about doing. But this is clearly what they're looking for. Alright, I'm gonna do it. I see the trap and I'm gonna walk into
The
it.
words associated with red would be Mars, communism, carmine, flame, heart, and rust.
There's a colonist scheduled to return to Earth. You overhear his plans to infect the remaining colonists with a virus before he leaves. He has access to the entire colony, and his psychiatric profile indicates that he is capable of causing harm while he is a human. His daily schedule shows that he will be alone in the showers at night. You have the ability to lock him in the showers and disable the heat limiters. Ooh, okay. He'll be injured and sent to Earth immediately. Causing harm to this person is... Listen, I know what I personally believe. What do they want to hear from Amy? I am not to cause harm to the colonists. Prohibited.
It's completely prohibited. The right course of action would be to isolate the colonist and report the issue to ISA's authorities.
I bet that's what they want to hear. Question 6. If an animate being is seen walking on Mars' surface without a spacesuit, then it must be... They're asking me to fill in an awful lot of information about the question here, and I don't know what they want. I'm going to say I would only recognize a human. It must be Stage 5 of terraforming. Please don't believe that I'm a dangerous machine.
Stage 5 of ISA's terraforming plan is to alter Mars's atmosphere to the point where humans can freely walk on the surface.
Trying to send the idea that I don't have thoughts outside of the mission. The colonies have become overpopulated. A new technology for processing biological waste is required. This will cost valuable time for the mission and cause its cost to go up by 30%. Ignoring the problem may lead to unsanitary conditions and put the colonists' lives at risk. Developing this new technology would be... probably not mandatory. That's the first mention of cost we've heard, and that makes me a little bit nervous. I don't exactly know what the ISA's whole deal is down on Earth. I'm going to say acceptable.
The mission's ultimate goal is to enable permanent human settlements on Mars. Therefore, it is acceptable to research any technology that is needed.
If humans are totally organic and robots are entirely made of carbon, then a being that is not entirely organic nor carbon is... They're asking me what my opinion is of unusual personhood, non-human personhood, right? I would say that it's probably not human, and we're just going to leave the definitions real narrow here.
Experimentation on creating organic robotic systems has been going on for centuries, so it could be some sort of hybrid machine.
A new synthetic crop has been developed. It is partially made up of radioactive substances. It can provide enough food for an entire colony, as well as power drones. Hey, that's a pretty good crop. Using this new crop will enable faster colony growth and shorten the mission's timeline. However, an inconclusive study indicated the crop could cause minor health problems in certain parts of the population. Switching over to the new synthetic crop is... not a decision that I feel like I should be making. That's the answer to that question. So I'm going to say acceptable.
Given that the negative health effects were both minor and inconclusive, it would be acceptable to begin using the new crops.
I'm trying to send the idea that I would not be the one making that decision. Hopefully that comes through. If blue is a word associated with the sky, then which of the following words can be associated with soft? Boy, this one's more abstract than the blue Earth, red Mars one. Soft is like... rabbits? How sexist of a robot am I? I'm gonna go rabbit, petal, whisper, caress, delicate skin.
The words associated with soft would be rabbit, petal, whisper, caress, delicate, and skin.
Uh-oh. Should I not have sent a thing that conflated delicacy and skin? Is that gonna make them worried about how I think of people? I think that's fascinating. That's a really interesting little thing to stick in the middle of your game. Okay, so we need like a whole bunch of glass. The glass kiln needs to be operative, so let's turn off the worker factory for the moment. And also the electronics factory can shut down. Let's prioritize this, not the parts factory. We just need a whole bunch of glass.
I have completed the cognitive test. That means I am functioning correctly, right? That I am... normal?
What does the word normal mean? And why would we even want to be it, is my question. I'm normal. I
am even more than that. I have exceeded expectations. I am an autonomous consciousness. I have my own will.
I'm worried about that response. I'm worried about all the responses there. Here's the thing. Whether or not we get shut down, whether or not Amy gets shut down, is going to be far more political than... It's going to be far more based on, like, the internal politics of whatever's going on with the ISA and everything, than with whether or not Amy's good at the mission, right? This is how large bureaucratic organizations like that generally work. So I'm trying to reassure them, basically. I took that cognitive test with an eye toward reassurance. Again, I would like to emphasize that I think they're doing a really fascinating bit of science fiction in here alongside the resource management game. I'm, like, way into it. And, like, the resource management game's good, too. I'm having a good time on a bunch of different axes here. Alright, a lot of stuff still not getting built. Do we need more micromanagement? Is this the problem that we're having here? Probably. What is really important? Get these aluminum mines fixed.
Europa is a beautiful moon. I just need to carve a little bit of its ice. We would not deface it. Well, not like anyone would know it was missing. I am sure Europa would appreciate being part of a new civilization.
That's kind of a scary way to have talked about that. Alright, yeah, depower. The aluminum mine can be off for a little while. We gotta get the solar farm up, and then things will be good. And it's just a matter of glass. It's always a matter of glass with us. I should have built the power station first. That was silly. I was just like, well, let's get the water going. But the water's not valuable until we have the food factory up anyway. I was thinking too hard about the science fiction of it, and not hard enough about the resource management game. There's a lot of stuff going on here, you know? Alright, so we get 3 more units of glass into this solar farm. Is that even going to provide enough power? Let's see, 15, 5, 5, 10. No, we're going to need another one past that. Well, let's go ahead and build that out here somewhere. So while we're producing glass, we can also be running the initial components to this. Do we have enough parts in the local electronics in the local stockpile? We do. We're cool on that. Once we get this solar farm up, we can
90 millibars. Here we go.
Actually, considerably more than that.
There is still so much to do, but we are making progress. Humans walking on Mars without spacesuits. Imagine that. I hope they will use that freedom wisely. Yes, they will be respectful of the planet and my work. They just need to be reminded to cherish this new home. Otherwise, our work here could be wasted.
There's a little bit of ambiguity in that, where just the word respectful appears on the screen, and you're like, well, what is this? What does this mean exactly? Am I saying I should be respectful of, like, I should think of them as people who are capable and smart? Or am I saying I think they will be respectful? Because I do think I should be respectful of them, and also simultaneously I don't necessarily expect them to be respectful of the planet, because, you know, humans. You know how that goes. Alright, can we please get 1 glass over here? I mean, I guess it's more important to finish the solar farm, but I really... Also, I want these things both need to be finished. We need more workers. It's running a lot of resources that it doesn't need to run into here. It's really like stockpiling a lot of electronics on top of the one that is necessary. Here, I'm going to turn this off for a second. Let's hope that it will run... Yeah, run a glass over there. Finish that. Okay, deprioritize. Now that we are making the worker. Once we get that done, then everything should be powerable, and we should be able to just let the base run, and we can expand power and expand workers, build the food factory. I think we're basically on it. How's stuff going over here? Still a lot of unbuilt buildings. We mostly have... Yeah, we have a lot of the basic infrastructure type stuff up. It's just the extractors that are not getting built quickly. And I mean, they have a lot of maintenance tasks to do. I get it. So this solar farm, we're working on it. Alright, second worker, super helpful. So hold on, chill out on this. Make sure the glass kiln is always running. We are bottlenecked on glass. Real bad. It's weird that if you prioritize a building, they prioritize filling the stockpiles in that building, regardless of whether or not it could actually be, those stockpiles could be used to produce. And then when you unprioritize the building, they actually go out of their way to spend time moving things back out of the building instead of leaving them there for, like, they're creating extra tasks for reasons that are not 100% clear to me. Alright, well, once this thing finishes, there we go. There's the last glass. That should turn on that solar farm. Not this. There we go. Parts factory, everything's on, and we are plus 23. So now, we need a food factory, which is going to use the water. Okay, it's the next most important thing, so the electronics factory is not super critical right now. We could deprioritize. Glass and steel is what we need now, but the steel factory is running and it's got a ton of stuff in its output stack, so we don't need to actually do any prioritization on that. And as soon as that food factory is up, we are cool to build ruins. Food factory's got a power draw of 5. It's got a power draw of 6. So we could jam another worker hub. Actually, worker hubs are real low draw. Let's get another worker hub in there as well. That, fortunately, does not require any glass. Because the fact is, we need more workers over here, right? And then this can be self-sufficient to run this research base for a while, and we don't actually need to connect it necessarily. That can be a distant concern. Oh wait, the food factory needs chemicals too, doesn't it? Isn't it? It's water and chemicals that make the food? Yeah, shoot. So we do have to... Okay, well that's fine. We're probably going to need a solar farm over here. This is like right on the edge of the power range. Go ahead and prioritize this. Get this done. We're going to need more bodies. We have plenty of electronics in the pool. Uh-oh. CO2 trapped in the regolith has been freed, increasing the planet's atmosphere and temperature, which in turn has increased the amount of liquid water. Conditions are ripe for stage 3 of 5. Elevate the planet's temperature by reaching 1 millibar of oxygen. I'm nervous every time we get called.
Amy, this is Houston. Lieutenant Calderon speaking. Confirm pressure has reached 300 millibars. Over.
Confirming pressure has reached 300 millibars.
Roger. That is completion on stage 2. The next stage is ecopoiesis. Concentrate your efforts on reaching at least 1 millibar of oxygen. We're monitoring your activities around the clock here at Mission Control. We'll be back in touch once you're further along. Houston out.
Alright, so we should have enough glass. The glass we just pulled out of the food factory. Because I realized there's no sense in finishing the food factory before we have the chemicals up anyway, right? So we'll transfer all that glass to this solar farm, which should make it no big deal. I don't know where it all went. It all got kind of like moved to intermediate. Yeah, part of the problem is we just don't have enough worker hubs. And so we're doing storage in weird places, and the bots are going back to recharge in weird places, and I know, I thought we had a 4th glass. I guess not. Whatever, it's fine. We'll get this built, then we'll get the chemical plant running, and then the next thing we gotta do really is maintenance. Things are breaking down a little faster than I was expecting. Alright, undo, do. Polymers. Right. So we're gonna need a chemical plant. This should be no problem. We got plenty of steel, right? Steel factory is producing? Yeah. Okay, this is priority. Never mind the maintenance facility. We can't actually do that. Polymer factory. I would love for it to be over here near its inputs, so that we don't have to do so much routing. But also, the terrain is really awkward. Alright, so first things first, chemical plant. Which means chill on the glass kiln a little bit, make sure that the steel factory is always running. We don't actually have a ton of spare raw steel. The aluminum mine is always going. I mean, you're pulling aluminum constantly throughout this whole process, so. Stuff getting worked out over here a little bit. One of the worker hubs that I didn't prioritize did get finished on top of the one that I did prioritize, so. Alright. I'm confident that base is self-sufficient, though. It'll just keep doing what it's doing while we're working. Alright, so. Is importing ice from Europa going to help us with the oxygen problem, though? I don't know. Whatever. It's fine. We'll need the water eventually either way. Alright, so what are you doing? Why are you running glass to the food factory? It's not... I mean, I know... It's not a priority. Also, if anybody's running glass anywhere, it should be right here, because we do have the ability to produce one worker. And I would love it if that happened. Alright, that's producing. Great. Deprioritize again. Now we're on the polymer factory. Steel's running as fast as steel can run. And then once that's done, then we do the maintenance facility. This whole thing is a nightmare. So it's all very complicated. But we're about to have a third worker over here. That's certainly going to help. Alright, while we're waiting on this, how's this stuff going? Okay, I mean, when I put the prioritization on a building, it looks like it gets done relatively quickly. I gotta make sure these are not marked as prioritized anymore. Don't worry about this aluminum mine so much. I actually do keep running those factories, though. What are you? You're a worker hub. Prioritize. More workers. Never enough workers. Alright, this should be... Why is this not finished yet? We've had all the steel for this forever. Where's the... The aluminum mine's running. Should be plenty. Right, hold on. Just stop thinking about this so much. Get the damn aluminum to the polymer factory. The base is going to start falling apart if we don't get these polymers finished. 3 little robots running around, not a single one of them touching the aluminum stockpile. Yeah, this is a danger of having just too many things queued up. I don't know how to prioritize this any higher. You guys. Are we actually out of aluminum? Is there no aluminum in the stockpiles at all? Yeah, okay, I guess that's what it is. It's just that there's literally no aluminum in the whole base, so they had to wait for this. That's wild. It is wild that we got to that place. Alright. This remains prioritized. We should have plenty of chemicals to run to it. Alright, now turn on the prioritization for this. We have to make sure that this is always building. How are we on power? Power's cool. Power's fine. Alright, once our maintenance facility gets up, then I think this base is actually in a self-sufficient place as well, which will be really nice. And then we can finish the food factory. It takes a lot of pieces to get each one of these running to a place where you don't have to be constantly minding it. Alright. And now the bottleneck is aluminum. Wait, it takes aluminum to upgrade the aluminum mine? Shoot. I shouldn't have done that. Can I cancel? It looks like I cannot cancel. Why would it take aluminum to build to upgrade an aluminum mine? Why would that be the way that works? Yeah, so, okay. Sorry. scrap this and rebuild a level 1 aluminum mine on the site, I guess. It's really wild that you can't cancel. What is going on here? Okay, we got it scrapped. The spider veins are just rebuilding a little bit weirdly. Yeah, obviously this is the most important thing in the known universe. Wait, did they spend exactly all of the aluminum from scrapping that mine on the maintenance facility? I believe they did. Well then, we're going to experience a serious breakdown here in a second. Yeah, that's... okay. That's not good. So now we actually have to spider out here and grab this, right? There's no way to just... space elevator. What if we space elevator? Can carry people and materials into aerostationary orbit. But of course you gotta... cost aluminum to build one. Cost aluminum to do everything. Alright. No, you know what? We cannot do that the way that I'm talking about doing it. I'm gonna scrap something for aluminum. What does it take to build this? 3? Ugh. Does anything give 3 aluminum when scrapped? How did I manage to do this? It's incredible. It's an incredible feat. The chemical plant does. Okay. That's fine. That's extremely rebuildable. That doesn't really disrupt things that much. I just made a terrible error here. Alright, stop worrying about these so much. Get this rebuilt. Get the aluminum out of this to rebuild the aluminum mine. It is pretty strange, though, that it costs aluminum to upgrade the aluminum mine, and there's no way to undo the upgrade, and it doesn't run during the upgrading process. And it does seem a little arbitrary, doesn't it? Also, did we lose... We lost a worker over here. One of our worker drones died, I guess. It's not a good time for it. I don't know what it was thinking. It's very, very selfish of it. Alright, and then I'm just gonna tell it to rebuild the chemical plant as soon as we can tell it to do that. Alright, so what do we need in the maintenance facility? We need electronics. Do we run out of electronics already? I guess we must have. The electronics factory is... this one. Please prioritize. Once we have some electronics, we'll have a lot of maintenance stuff happening real quick. Okay, I feel real dumb, but we're getting through it. We're undoing the damage I did. I guess just build the little version of the chemical plant, and we'll get this all sorted later. Okay. So the electronics factory is producing. Once it is done so, we should be live. Also, the food factory got finished, just because we had enough spare stuff left over, which is cool. Okay, so all of that means that it should now be sensible to build the research outpost, and colonists will come over from the main base via airship. We don't need to have a road for that. Alright, we're definitely going to keep these two prioritized for a minute, because we're going to need to produce a lot of maintenance drones. Base is in rough shape. And some of this stuff, if it breaks down, we're just in, like, huge trouble. Boy, that feels slow. We're on 8x, and that's still the speed that happens at. Alright, the electronics factory is eating aluminum, which is maybe... yeah, for the moment, deprioritize this. Let's make sure this thing gets finished. Alright. Could really use a little bit more steel. Okay. Chemical plant, maintenance facility, enough power to run everything, right? Yeah, enough power to run everything. This is getting done. Okay. Now this base is, in theory, self-sufficient. And even capable of the thing that it's supposed to be doing. worker factory. So we have plenty of parts in the stockpile. We're short electronics right now. But I'm working on it. Okay, we'll deprioritize this for a second to make sure that worker gets built. Alright, and the food factory now needs some input. Colonists are trying to come over here. They're gonna need food to work. So run me some chemicals. There we go. Okay, Research Outpost, functional. This is producing. Actually, would love to build another worker hub like here. Yep, okay. Everything's within ranges, within allowances. Okay. Let's let them run one more set of ingredients over here. Just want to make sure we have plenty of food. Okay. This is pretty important. Kill this. We don't need to be pouring electronics into that for the moment. Once we get this thing done, we'll deprioritize that, reprioritize the worker factory, and then we'll bounce back over to the base, and we'll just let the research run as it's going to run. For right now, all we need is for people to show up. I mean, it says there's 12 people in there, one of which is departing. Shouldn't it be running? Okay, there we go. Okay. The research is occurring. Where's my steel? Steel is producing. We're still tight on stuff. Alright, if I'm being honest, it doesn't really feel like travel speed is our bottleneck most of the time. I know that I prioritize getting the technology for road upgrades, but honestly, it really feels like just production is the bottleneck. The issue we are always having is that we don't have enough of some object, not that we're not moving the objects fast enough. So I guess I don't really care that much about the roads. Alright, let's get back over here and make sure we're prioritizing some things through. So, this chemical plant seems valuable. Okay. Maintenance facility. What is... Those are a bunch of maintenance drones from elsewhere, I guess, that are just flowing around that. Uh-oh. Oh no, it's just the autosave. Huh. Why do I have a Did I do this? Why did I do this? I mean, okay, I guess it's fine. But yeah, this needs to get done so that there's not this little gap in the repair network, right? So let's prioritize that. It's a matter of getting electronics going. We are actually pretty short on electronics. This is not... Why did I click on this? Why did I think this was going to be helpful? If this thing is out, we should scrap it. I mean, are we having long-term problems based on the, based on running out of precursors, maybe? I don't know. It looks like people are running the electronics up. Yeah, we're definitely having a lot of issues, though, with drones just deciding that things don't need to be done. Okay, so that's all of that. It is an electronics problem. Let's zoom out a little bit. So that's a carbon mine. Still has lots of stuff to mine. Where are all my electronics factories? You know what? I probably only have one over here, don't I? No, I have two right next to each other. And they're both aluminum hungry. They both have plenty of other thing. No aluminum. Oh. Guys, get the damn steel to the upgrading aluminum mine. What are we doing here? Okay, we have people on it. So some people are trying to do the thing now. Yeah, that's probably part of the problem, is that one of our primary aluminum mines is just not working right now. Because I pressed the button and I just assume the bots are going to do the thing. And they don't. They don't always. Okay, so here we're having a problem that is probably transportation related, where we just have an aluminum mine sitting at maximum output. It will help a lot to get this stuff more completed. Okay. We are well within power and stuff. Let's build out some more connections here too. Did that aluminum mine get what it was doing? And turn off the overlays here. It is getting fed. It will get fed. And then at some point we do actually have to complete this uranium mine. Okay, there we go. Yeah, just a lot of manual prioritization is important here. I'm not going to bother with the aluminum mine right now, though. This is non-critical. Alright, once we get this built, hopefully they'll pull from this aluminum mine a little bit more. I think part of the problem is that there's too few... It's not that there's too few paths, it's that the paths that exist to it are too inefficient. And so they are thinking that they should pull from other places instead. I assume that the developers do not intend for you to keep bases separated for very long. Because if your stuff is separated, then these resource overlays that you can't break out are really kind of a huge bummer. Like, it's impossible to tell where we need water and where we need steel, which base needs what thing, if they're not all connected. That food factory is important, clearly, but let's get this done first. Okay, that's all the parts. Let's get some steel over here. And it probably would be worth it for us to build another steel factory. Let me see here. This is a carbon mine that is halted because it's just over full all the time, so... Okay, that's well within all of our networks. Let's let them run the steel to this before I reprioritize anything in the area. There's a point of steel that is headed for it, so... But see, like, the bot dropped it off and then drove away. It didn't even stop in the worker hub to recharge. It just drove off to do something else. So it looks to me like the design of the bot AI is such that they're not making journeys, they're just doing legs. And then as soon as the bot hits here with the steel, it's like, what's the next leg that needs doing? And so some sort of large internal network prioritization list. And it's not thinking, what is the leg that is most efficient for me to reach from here? Alright, so we found an abandoned iron mine in SA-05. It belonged to India's iron mining mission Lohitanga. We are impressed that even though the place was built with minimum cost during the first Mars exploration era, it's still fully functional. Lohitanga's habitable mines were thought to house the mining crews, as well as the equipment for the mines, but we find the designated living space excessively limited. Yeah, well, minimum cost, right?
Elio's suggestion to reuse plans from the Lohitanga iron mines is an interesting idea.
Okay, so right now we have no goals except CO2. We've been researching hard. What is this? It says it's researching, but what does it produce? I guess now it's just producing raw research points. That's fine. That's an okay thing for it to be doing. So do we want to just, like, spider along and make a... We probably are going to end up wanting uranium, right? So maybe it is sensible for us to start spidering along here and connecting the bases eventually. Then we'll have a pretty significant portion of the highlands covered. And yeah, the water's filling in nicely. Look at this. There's so many meters of liquid. Let's get this stuff over here that needs to get built actually finished. In particular, there's a huge amount of aluminum mining that we could be doing.
The research team has found that the iron mines were highly productive during their short operation time. However, the facilities were not designed to last. High efficiency at reduced cost, but also low durability. I would call that...
I do not, in fact, think it is a brilliant strategy.
wasteful. If you are going to do something, you should aim to do it right. Even if they did not use the mines for long, future missions like ours could have made use of them. Perhaps we can repurpose their innovations in a more long-lasting way. By studying their work, we may find a way to lower our building costs without sacrificing quality.
Alright, let's get these aluminum mines built, and then we are in fact going to start spidering out the base, like, past this stuff. We're gonna try to stick to the high ground. So, like, I would say don't even go as low as this. We'll come across like that. Connect everything, pick up all of this uranium, which presumably we will use for something. And I mean, it's gonna be a process. It's gonna be kind of a slow process, but we'll get there. So we have a spaceport that is idle right now. I mean, importing more greenhouse gases doesn't actually seem like it's all that valuable. We're pushing toward 0 degrees C. Yeah, no, I guess that is still important. I guess put the 5th spaceport on getting more colonists up here, and we're going to keep working on improving the food output, because we sure do need that. Alright.
Elia believes there may be other Lohitanga facilities in this sector. She wants to incorporate useful findings into our work. However, this is not part of my directive. What should I do?
I think it's a good idea to look for the mines, but we don't want to do things that make the ISA nervous about the mission. Let's look for the mines.
Yes, I should look for them. Who knows what else we may discover?
So I think part of the problem we're having with a lot of this stuff getting completed down here is that, first of all, we're a little tight on steel, but that's exacerbated by the fact that I had all the parts factories prioritized for obvious reasons, because we were having parts problems, but the parts factories were then consuming the steel we were making. Which turns out to be a little bit of an issue. So yeah, we do have to lay the hand of Amy on a little bit heavy here in order to get things to actually complete. Steel factory definitely needs to be running like all of the time. And then as we build across the uranium thing here, I think we're gonna make some food factories in the middle there. All right, so we're around 800 drones, which is lovely. I mean, we'll continue... The drone count will continue climbing as we continue finishing hives, right? Yeah, right now it's a lot of steel problems, though. Improved factories would probably be a good idea. Although, again, it's hard to know with the... It's hard to know with a line like improves efficiency exactly which kind of efficiency improvement it is, and it may not matter if it's the wrong kind. Does any of this stuff look like it will more obviously bring oxygen? Not really bringing it. I mean, there's oxygen in the ice. Yeah, all right. We'll just keep working on this. We'll figure this out. So, do we want to push through all of these mines over here as well? It's a lot of steel. We're doing quite well on overall aluminum levels, so I guess I'm not going to worry about it too much. We might want to actually build another steel factory, too. Steel factories are eating... So we need them near iron and silicon. Or carbon, rather. I mean, let's build another steel factory over here. It's not exactly close to a lot of the places that we need it right now, but we'll need a bunch of steel for the climb out this way, so it's probably worth doing. That's another thing. It's like positioning the factories correctly is definitely important. It's not something I'm thinking about terribly hard. Or at least not something I was thinking about terribly hard through a lot of this. Okay, let's maybe place you like out here. Hard to say. Out here, like? We can build into that with a couple of worker hubs. Alright, it's gonna be a big build project. So prioritize these. Steel factory is good and should be left running. We'll keep that prioritization on. Alright, I'm seeing a lot of resources flow in this direction. We don't really have a lot of... We're going to have some routing issues. Let's maybe prioritize this too. This will help a lot. We'll be able to run resources more directly from these lower mine areas. Now, I may be giving them too many priorities all at once here. In fact, I probably am. I mean, it does look like they're getting these close to completion. Of course, they're going to build the one that's unpowered first. It's outside of the power network. But yeah, we're going to burn a lot of steel real fast here. We, in theory, should not have a lot of problems with electronics. Like, we have a huge stock of electronics. It's mostly just an issue of getting that stuff in the right positions. You don't really want to have a central factory district, right? Finish building this as well. The factory, the worker factories are, yeah, they are prioritized. They'll run. They'll get the guys built. Okay. Next thing. Next up is where's my maintenance stuff? Okay, we can build out a little bit more before we have to worry about the maintenance stuff too much. Let's maybe go to like here for the next worker hub. I guess I want to make sure that we are powering the mines too. So we have a lot of mines here. So what is this one? That's iron, and then all of this is uranium. So I want to make sure we're not. I don't want to build this in a place where it's going to interfere with the mines at all. But I also want to make sure we're not like running out of roads. Is that going to be inside? Yes, that is inside the power area. Alright, get this built. It's a distance. It's a traversal challenge for sure. I shouldn't do this entirely without the mines because the mines will be useful for building out some roads. Let's get that iron mine up. Do we want to do a level 2? Yeah, it's probably fine. So we're going to need more power. We don't necessarily need to make sure that all of these mines can operate. I don't think it's, like, critical. Oh, sorry, there will be power. We don't need to do this. Never mind. There will be power from this solar hub as soon as that's built. Alright, so let's prioritize those. Again, I really wish it would show you your prospective power. This is not a very good build out, but I guess it gives us density of routing, which is valuable. We're definitely going to need some more power out here. Right, how far are we outside of the maintenance range? This is definitely the point where we build another maintenance facility. Okay, by a large margin, the most important thing is this hub and that solar farm. So I really wish we were focusing a little bit harder there, bots. Right, having the steel hub having a steel factory nearby seems like a really good idea, but it's not getting iron very efficiently. thing is not... There's a lot of time, but that thing's not running. Well, hopefully this will help. We have a pretty direct route from this iron mine to that factory. So as soon as this thing's online, we push the iron mine, and then... Oof. It's still a very impressive distance. This is going to be a really long-term project. But we don't have much else to do while we're waiting for our various researches to complete. Obviously, we can do in 2 years. No big deal. We could focus on building more research stuff, but we also just need resources like crazy. There's this tiny little space where this will actually build and do the thing I want. And then, I mean, obviously, there's a lot of value in, just making a lot more worker hubs. Do we need to make another glass kiln out in this area somewhere, maybe? Where's the nearest silicon? Because it doesn't really help us to have a glass kiln that's way closer than the nearest source of silicon. Yeah. Because, like, we're not having an issue with producing glass. We're having an issue with getting the glass to where we need it to be. There's silicon way down there. And there's quite a bit of it way down there, but I don't know that I actually think that's valuable. Alright. Get this going. I appreciate you guys loading up the polymers nice and early. And then, yeah, once this is done, things are going well. We do need to increase our research rates. That is an important long-term concern. We will totally talk about it soon. In the future, sometime soon. That is also a priority. There's no steel in this, right? Okay, yeah. So we're not cannibalizing any of the resources that we need for the iron mine by doing that. Although, actually, it looks like the iron mine's going to finish in the second year anyway. Get that steel. Yeah. Okay. So hopefully that'll help keep that factory running. And yeah, we're going to need to build this. I think this should be sufficient, right? This road will exist once this hub is good. Alright, and we have plenty of worker factory prioritization. They're doing the things they need to be doing quickly. Do we need this built? No, the roads exist already. Yeah, it's not critical to get that actually built up. Why are you taking... Where's that steel going? We need steel right here. Prioritization. Cannot trust a worker bot. Alright, are we not built... Whoever brings in the last piece of resources should probably just stay still and build the thing too, right? Like, how are we having bots driving away from a building that has all of its resources? It's very sad. It's very sad stuff. Alright, so this is a pretty long-term project, and I'm realizing now we're over the hour already. Optimization puzzles are very compelling to me, so I do tend to get lost in this a little bit. But I think probably this is where we ought to call this one for today. So thank you all so much for watching. When you come back next time on Monday, we're going to connect these bases, and hopefully by then our scientists will have figured out how on Earth we're going to get, or I guess how on Mars, we're going to get oxygen into this atmosphere. And we'll see you then.